Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the Webtoon Wars.
Yes,
Begun.
it has come.
Begun, the Webtoon Wars have. So it turns out that we missed this. Tapas, formerly Tapastic, apparently got sold.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Like a couple of weeks ago. And now the media is talking about how important Webtoons are to K-dramas and anime and Hollywood and all of that. We've got these big media companies kind of fighting each other now for Webtoon domination, which is, strangely enough, what we kind of warned everybody was going to happen.
Right, and what's been happening for a long time. Recently, people that were supposed to be in the know were like, you need to watch Webtoons because that's where it's getting big. And we're just looking at them like, are you kidding me? We've been saying that the Hollywood's been after Webtoons. It's been like, a running joke for a while now.
Yeah, and look, we knew when Webtoon came over in Tapastic, now Tapas, now whatever they're going to call it, came over, that this was going to be a game changer for webcomics. That it was going to change. Basically, webcomics would become more like YouTube, where you no longer self-hosted your stuff, but you would have to host your stuff on one of these platforms if you wanted to get seen. Mm-hmm. And that does seem to be what's going on now. But then again, with webcomics, Webtoon being strip mined over the last couple of years for Hollywood projects, you're going to get some other interest. And now this other company has come in and bought Tapastic. Apparently.
I keep wanting to call it Tapastic because it was Tapastic.
It was Tapastic.
When they asked us, funny story for those who like, you don't have any web presence at all. Actually, they were after us to get Shadowbinders on there. And that was back when they were paying like a whole bunch of money and like thousands a month for comics. And we couldn't do it because we were under contract with KeenSpot.
Yep.
So we already were, locked into a high-profile platform, so we couldn't go there. But then after we did finally were able to mirror on there, they were like, can you help us get our forum started? So if you go back to the forum, some of the early entries were from us because they actually asked us to help them get their forums up and running. But, what do we know? We've never been around. We're just a tiny webcomic.
What do we know? All right, so before we get into it anymore, please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants, guys. We're over 190,000 subs. We do talk about anime, talk about animation, talk about comics, talk about the industry, give our hot takes on things. Some people don't like our hot takes. Tough shit. It's our channel. Don't like it. Change the channel. There we go. So we've talked about Webtoon before, and weirdly enough, when it comes to Webtoon, not Tapastic. Tapastic is their rival. When it comes to Webtoon, like, we could never get a human the entire time we were in contact with them until we did a video that was not even negative, just slightly critical of Webtoons. And we basically said they built the platform on a lot of Westerners' backs over here. And these people thought they were going to get movie deals or whatever. And then once the platform got to a certain size, Webtoons started getting deals for their own in-house stuff, the Korean stuff.
We also talked about the fact that they had hired at the time a person from Marvel who was like kind of running it. And they were getting all their buddies in and getting them deals. And the reason they were slumming it in webcomics when they used to make fun of it before was because they thought that's what the deals and the money was going to be. So which we thought was very ironic considering how, they act like it was amateur hour a couple years before that. But then all these other people worked their ass off to make it valuable. And then when it was valuable real estate, then they wanted to come in and be rewarded for it. When they looked down their nose at these people, before that. That's what we talked about. And that they got mad about that. It wasn't untrue.
No, it wasn't untrue. And look, I mean, Webtoon, we said before, we don't think Webtoon is a bad choice for people.
No, it's a good place to go to get, there's already a built-in audience. You're going to get buried, but it's already a built-in audience.
Right. It's way harder to get found. Kind of like YouTube. It's hard to get found.
It is. It's like the YouTube of webcomics.
So this happened a couple of weeks ago, and we missed it because, nobody really seemed to talk about it. It was kind of on the down low that I think it's Kakao. Webtoon secures strong foothold in North America through acquisition of Radish, which owns Tapastic. So they said that they're acquiring Radish Media, U.S.-based web novel
they changed it to be web novels, Yep.
Has endorsed the proposed acquisition of Radish and Tapas Media, an American snack culture content provider known as YouTube of Comics. Kakao Entertainment has maintained ties with Tapas by securing a 21.68% stake in 2020. Tapas and Radish CEOs will retain their leadership in each company while taking charge of Kakao's global strategy. And we know where this is going. It's the same reason that Webtoon bought Wattpad. strip mine it for movies, TV shows, anime. They're already doing Webtoon anime on Crunchyroll now. That's why they're doing this. And we kind of knew, like, Tapastic was a startup. And they were, I don't know if they're even profitable at this point, but I remember when we first started talking to them, they were based out of San Francisco, and they basically had enough capital to go for like 5 years. And then once they hit the 5-year mark, it seemed like they changed their business model.
That was when we went to the novel type
the
stuff.
novels and stuff, and then
coins or
you
something.
start buying coins and all this weird stuff.
It was weird. We were out of it by then, but it got really weird.
Yeah, but this is all to compete with Webtoon, for sure. Because Kakao is a rival with Naver, and they've diversified their business portfolio to cover entertainment, web cartoons, and content services while acting as key players in developing new technologies. Naver said it completed the acquisition of Wattpad, and again, they wanted strip mine for stories. They're basically letting you use their platform to kind of pitch, I guess, and but I don't know what's in it for you. And we're not seeing, other than like Lore Olympus, I haven't seen.
It's mostly Korean stuff that gets picked up from most. But that's not always the case, but the majority of it seems it's basically like they use this platform over here to try to drum up interest in these comics so that you'd watch them turn into TV shows or whatever. Yeah, and
they said on the Webtoon side, Naver's going to grow into an important player in the global entertainment market based on storytelling platforms that Gen Z is enthusiastic about.
It's free. I'm just going to tell you, that's what it is.
Shit.
It's free webcomics. That's why people go there. We used to be on both Tapas and Webtoons. We actually had a huge following over Webtoons.
Yeah, we did. And then we pulled it down, and then we started over again, but then it just... We
pulled it down because we were working with an agent then, and they didn't want us having it on there. But we decided that, that's great, you're really popular, but it doesn't pay. No. And we were one of the ones that got paid.
Yeah, we actually did get paid. Not a lot, but
that was Webtoons, wasn't it? Back when they had the payment, you got paid based on views. And you had to have all these things, and they paid you through Patreon. We actually were one of the ones that had enough to get paid because we actually did well enough that we were making money. But it was very little money overall, unless you're one of their big ones that got promoted. You weren't making a lot of money. So we're just like, if we're going to do comics, we're going to make money because we're giving it away for free isn't exactly how it working for us. So we took it down. But we used to be on Webtoons. It's funny because the person said to us the other day about, you should go to Webtoons. And I was just like looking at them like, are you serious right now? Because places like Tapas and Webtoons were like trying to get us to come over there then because to help build their platforms up. But we're just looking at them like, are you kidding me?
People don't understand when both of these companies first started, there was a lot of apprehension, and I think rightfully so, because people are like, well, we've got our own websites. Why are we going to...
It killed that model.
It did. It killed... Look, I'm going to say it. This is what we said.
I blame Hiveworks first. Then I blame Tapas.
Hiveworks definitely put the knife in pretty deep. But I think Webtoon, it was a 1-2 combination. Hiveworks came in. They wanted to centralize all the major webcomics under their umbrella.
Yeah, and if you tell them no, they tried to come after you.
They chase you off the internet if you tell them no.
No, speaking from experience.
Yeah, and then Webtoon came in and just kind of finished the job.
Yeah, Tapas tried, but then it took Webtoon. When Webtoons came in, it took over.
Tapas was first, if I remember correctly.
Tapas was first.
They were first, yeah. And then Webtoons it was like, oh, it's over now. Here comes Naver. So this doesn't surprise me at all that they sold out to a competitor. So part of this expansion for Kakao Entertainment has been that it's acquired 2 webcomic and webtoon companies, including Tapas and Radish. They've been prominent in its South Korean media, widely received by the public. That'd be Kakao. The deal's a whopping $950 million. What? $950 million acquisition.
You know what's funny, though? The content on there was all people putting their own content on there for free. And then now they get the cash in for millions based on everybody else giving them their work.
Well, this is why people were very leery of Tapastic, because I forgot they were Panda Comics.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Or Comics Panda or something like that they were called. And apparently, now I can't verify this because we didn't have any run-ins with them, but people said that they were going around and basically skimming reposting people's comics on their platform and throwing ads on it or whatever, trying to get people to come over.
Yeah, I do remember that. We've been around for a while. So we've been doing webcomics in 2010? You were doing stuff before that in comics. Yeah. So, and Shadowminders was really popular between like 2010 and 2014-ish.
Yeah.
Until that's when we started doing stuff with the agents and stuff. So we took it down. So, we were here when all this stuff started.
Yeah, so they had the idea for Tapas in 2008. They said Chang Kim. I think we talked to him before.
Yeah, I was like, did we talk to him? I know we did.
But I can't believe, according to Tapas forums, users spend $50,000 to $70,000 per day on the platform. That must be the coins, which amounts to millions monthly.
People were actually buying the coins because people were like laughing.
They couldn't get people to buy coins.
No, they couldn't.
Last year, it's paid $14 million to creators, which suggests that it's a multi-million-dollar company before Kakao had its hands on. Before, they were trying to figure out how to make money. I remember we
were there.
They were actually kind of asking us, like, well, how do webcomics make money?
It was so funny because people were like, Shadowminders wishes they were big. Ha ha ha. Here's the funny thing. Tapas and other places and Tokyo Pop was one of them, and other companies actually used to hire us to be advisors or actually come to us and want us to help them. Even Mark Wade did with Thrillbent. And they came to us, they want us to, they come pick our brain to ask us because we were making it work. And they're like, how are you doing it? And they come and ask us to help them promote their projects. And that actually happened. You can go look it up. But,
Yeah, it was, it's hard though, because we really had to hustle. We had to think outside the box, even the website design to be able to monetize it, because just a straight up webcomic site is not.
And everybody's just putting it on Tapas and Webtoons, which is great. I mean, if you want to just get out there and get seen and you want your stuff on a ready to go site, that's a great idea. However, when we did it, there was nowhere near the amount of competition that there is now, and they all, especially Webtoons, always seem to skew attention to certain people and creators.
Yep.
So, and then when they bring these in, that these paid comics, they would of course push them to the top of the list, and they were the ones that would get showcased to Hollywood.
Yeah, here they have Ken Kim on Webtoon as one of the most influential tech people.
Yeah, I'm sure.
In Hollywood right now.
Because all those people were putting their stuff on there for free, and they get to build it. Every time someone puts another comic on there, it raises them up more. Yeah, and
it's kind of ingenious that they're building their platform on the backs of creators, most of whom never get paid. But then you have to realize that the people that aren't getting paid probably contribute very little to the overall.
Yeah, we used to have people complain about that. I remember they get mad about different places not paying them because they didn't have enough views. But then the flip side is these companies are paying for the hosting.
Yeah.
For you to sit there and not have very many views. So, it's kind of fair.
Yeah, but it's I remember when they had to beg people to come to Webtoon. They had all kinds of contests and stuff trying to get people to come.
I remember that.
Nobody would go to Webtoon. And the thing is that there were some of us, early on that were like, if Webtoon and Tapastic take off, that changes everything. Basically, it's going to be YouTube. People aren't going to self-host their own comics anymore because it's going to be easier just to dump them onto.
Well, it's easier cause people don't go look for comics on their own sites. It's go to Webtoons. All the comics I want to read, boom, free.
Yeah. Yeah.
The real thing would be interesting to see is what happens when they try to monetize it. Or they try to charge for it. I would love to see what would happen.
Well, apparently, I know on Tapastic you could do those microtransactions.
Yeah, the coins and stuff.
But being like, $10 a month.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You could unlock things sooner or whatever. But I'm saying if they made it that you had to actually pay for it, I would love to see how that would go over.
Yeah, I love it. They always, it's a creator community. We're all in this together.
It is a creator community, but the thing is about Tapas, I'm going to say it, and Webtoons is they're basically just using creators to give them the content to say that they get, so they bring the people in to watch. I remember they used to encourage you with Tapas, with Tapastic then, to go advertise on Project Wonderful or different places in Google Ads and stuff to bring people there because they wanted you to pay to have people come to see your comic because then it would people would stay and read all the other comics, and basically you were paying to advertise them. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I'm not saying it's a dumb idea. It's a good idea. Yeah. But as far as for creators, they're kind of using you. But, if you're okay with that, if you like being used.
But there you go, guys. So all these years, and now this is the end goal, that it's getting sold off, and they're going to make more Hollywood or Korean entertainment.
Hope that they, creators get more out of it.
Yeah.
Let's just hope that, I mean, that's my hope. As a creator, I hope that the creators get more out of what they're given so much. Let's hope they get more back.
That is true. I hope they do. All right, so we're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.